Hello and welcome to the 160th Photography Podcast. Today I'm talking about YouTubers who I think are good and have good YouTube channels. So previously I'd had Samuel L on, and he's got Samuel Street Life. In the podcast we're talking a long time ago. He came on, he had a chat with me about street photography. And now he's quite big on YouTube. He's got quite a lot of subscribers. I guess that's how you judge if people are big. I wish him very well. I previously had on a guest called Gary Norman, and I still watch his YouTube stuff, and I still watch Samuel stuff actually. But I find I'm watching quite a lot on YouTube, particularly through the pandemic. And I want to give a shout out to some of those ones who I think are very good, but maybe don't get the recognition they deserve. So I'm going to do a sort of top 5 of people who I've been watching lately, they're not necessarily small, they're not necessarily well known, but they're not the biggest photography YouTube channels, and they're not as widely known as others. So I'm going to talk about these in no particular order. If I start with one, it doesn't mean it's my first or my least favourite. I'm just going to go through them. So Lindsay Adler, I really like her fashion photography, and I learn a lot about lighting just by watching. I don't view that I know so much that I can't watch the odd tutorial or see how other people are doing things. I'm always learning, I'm always picking up inspiration and ideas, and I like what Lindsay Adler does. So Lindsay Adler's channel is very good for high profile editorial fashion photography, and it's the sort of shoots I want to do, but I really can't afford to, because I would need to pay a model for those type of shoots, and I can't always afford that. So I really like watching Lindsay Adler's stuff. I like looking at how she uses gels, how she does her fashion photography. Next up is a chap called Wolf Amney. Now, it might be Wolf Amni or Wolf Amney, and of course I'm going to put links to these channels below so that you can go and check them out yourself. Now, Wolf, what I like about him is he does very good tutorials, and it might be something that I already know about, but I like watching his tutorials even if it is something I know about. And the simple reason is he does it with standard stuff, and he does the same with more pro equipment. He knows that his average viewer has a APS-C DSLR. So he does stuff, and he shows you what you get with an average APS-C DSLR, and he shows you what you get with, I don't know, like a cheaper lens, a more expensive lens, and then he shows you what you get when you use pro photography gear or more expensive gear. And so often we hear it's not gear, it's the photographer, but I've always said that gear helps, or gear makes things easier. And he shows what you get at the various different price points, and I think that's really good. I really like his tutorials. I like the way he does it as well. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm seeing quite a good sort of set of comparisons from him. So I'm really liking that channel, and I've only just started watching actually, but I have watched quite a lot of tutorials with him. Another person I like is Michael Vidley. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Now, he just does macro photography. Now, I've been watching some of his tutorials and product reviews because I'm doing some macro work for a project I'm working on. And macro work, everyone did it when the pandemic hit. I'm doing it now the pandemic's sort of over. Is it over? I don't know. I've come late to the game for macro stuff, but that's only because I'm now starting to do some macro stuff for a specific project. So I'm learning a lot about macro from him, and I'm watching how he's progressed, and basically I just want to speed up, and I don't want to get bogged down in making the mistakes he's made. So his channel has been very useful for that. Peter Forsgaard is a Micro Four Thirds photographer from Helsinki. I think that's in Finland, although I'm not sure. And I like watching his stuff for just stuff on Micro Four Thirds, Olympus cameras, and things like that. And last but not least, because again this isn't in order, is Stephen Heiss. Now, Stephen Heiss has a particular YouTube channel or a particular genre. He started off just doing reviews, and he had one of his friends who is a female model maybe, and she was in lots of them, and then she wasn't. He did do a video explaining why she wasn't. When she was in the thumbnail, it made a particularly appealing video to go and watch, but he would just do things like lens reviews. But actually what he started doing recently, which I really like, is looking at older generations of equipment. So looking at a camera from 10 years ago, or a GoPro Hero 4, or things like that. And I quite like that sort of retro aspect. So he's doing reviews that are retro in its camera and filmography gear. So I'm really enjoying those. Now, these are YouTubers who I like to watch. And of course, I watch other YouTubers, but this niche of YouTubers are small photography YouTube channels, and I've got a lot from them. So I just want to raise their profile and point them out. Of course, I have photography YouTube stuff up on YouTube. I'm tending to do much more video editing and other things, and I'm working on my other projects at the moment. And of course, if they take off, I'll be letting you know how they get on here. But thank you ever so much. Do let me know if there's anyone you like to watch on YouTube, if you have any favorites, other than, the big established photography YouTubers. I'd love to hear. Thank you. Goodbye.